How's it going, everybody? It's Ademo with libertyontour.com, and I am here with Ivy and Jeremy, and they have a website called nhclog.org, and I'm going to let Jeremy explain a little more about that. What is nhclog.org?
NHCLOG, it stands for the New Hampshire Courtroom Legal Opposition Group, and the point of the website is to primarily help people defend themselves in court. And we publish a lot of information on the website pertaining to how to represent yourself and also how to represent somebody else, not as a lawyer, but as just a private citizen helping somebody else in court. New Hampshire is sort of unique in that we actually have a law in the books that says that any citizen of good character can represent somebody else in court. It's RSA 311:1.
So what kind of information can people find at the website, or what is the most resourceful area of the site?
There's one page called Laws You Should Know, and it talks at RSA 311, it talks at RSA 91A, which is the Citizen's Right to Know. It's the state version of the Freedom of Information Act, so you can basically go to a town office and demand any sort of public records under this law and get access to them. There's a bunch of things about how the motor vehicle stuff works, specifically because so many people end up in court over petty traffic violations.
Are these for civil suits, criminal offenses, or a mix?
It's entirely for criminal stuff. Technically, the state considers violation level stuff to be a civil matter, but it's handled criminally, so it's all criminal stuff. We have a page that basically has all the templates for common forms you're going to need to fill out. We have the power of attorney stuff. One of the very important ones we have is the motion to video record in court. You need to file a motion to actually bring a camera into court and record someone's trial. There's a template that you can use from our website that you can just download and fill out, put the case information on there and submit that, and the judge has to rule on it. And it's under like resources on the website, I believe.
Awesome. We all know how important filming is.
As far as media recording, yeah, there's the petition of Keene Sentinel and the petition of WMUR, both of which cases say that unless there is sufficient compelling reason to close the courtroom, then video recording is allowed. And sufficient compelling reason would be like if it's a minor that was raped, you know, you want to protect that minor as much as possible. They've already been through a trauma. Maybe being on camera is more traumatic for them. But there has to be a compelling reason to close the courtroom. It's not that you need to prove a reason to record. They need to prove a reason why you can't record. And so those type of cases are very important when you want to get into court with a camera.
So are there ways for people to get a hold of you or connect with you via the website? Yeah,
if you go to the site, I believe it's in the About page, there's a link to email addresses to get a hold of each of us individually, and staff at nhclog.org to get a hold of everybody involved at once.
Is there anything that you could tell folks that would want them to help your site, or what they could do to get involved if they like such a project?
If you have a court case, contact us, and you want us to write about it on the site, we'll put it up there. There's one really good traffic case up there where somebody completely dismantled the use of moving radar on the stand. His name is Bill Domenico, if you know him, and he got stopped with a cop doing moving radar, and they were going up a hill, and there were other cars coming, and Bill's an electronics guy, so he knew how all the radar works and how all the flaws with it, and he spent an hour in court basically dismantling everything about how this works, and he was found not guilty in the end. Right. And that's really informative to watch if you ever get stopped with moving radar, because a lot of the state cops just drive around with it on constantly around you, just trying to grab people.
Another example is with myself, when I was caged for telling Judge Burke off. I didn't know it at the time, but NHCLOG actually helped me out, and like to bring in Ivy. So when I was arrested, you're in jail, you know, and there's not much you can do from there. So having someone be able to represent you is good.
Those type of cases get me riled up, and so I had to help. And so I looked up some case law, and I put together a motion and sent it down to some people who then filed it on your behalf, and you were released.
We filed
It was a motion to release you on good behavior or for time served. And it was basically saying, you know, Your Honor, I was disrespectful. I'm sorry. I didn't know that that was a problem here.
Sure, but before that, we needed, like, for me, it was hard to do these motions by myself, right, so I needed representation.
Right, when you're in jail, they say there's law libraries available, but there really isn't. And to get access to them, you have to actually know what you're looking for ahead of time and tell these clerks in the jail, hey, I need to see this case, or I need to see RSA whatever, And really, when you're doing legal research, you don't know the cases ahead of time until you're there and you're starting to look things up. And one case will lead you to another and another and another. And it's this wild jumbo mess of research. And when you're sitting in a jail cell, there's no access to, oh, let's go get that next book like you are in a law library or online to look up the next case. And so you're kind of stuck. I was able to look up what I could as far as other case law and statutes and stuff. There really is no statute that defines contempt of court. It's just a judge's whim, really, whether you've pissed him off today or not. And that's kind of scary that they have that kind of power. So JJ Schlesinger was willing to come to the court and be a representative. So I gave him all the information that he needed to fill out. There's an affidavit you need to create saying that you're of good character, that you have no felonies or misdemeanors, that you've not broken any court rules, and then you have to have a power of attorney signed by the defendant saying that you're giving power of attorney to that person, which I believe JJ got signed and notarized for you. And then I got the motion to JJ and he filed it for you. And the judge looked at it, talked to you a little bit on camera, and you were released. So
yeah, I mean, he didn't go exactly with that ease, but he let me sit in jail a couple more hours before he did. It was more of a tongue lashing. But would you say that like the information that people can find at nhclog.org is something that, I mean, I found this out the hard way. You know, I was already in jail and things like that.
Right.
Are there steps people can take to maybe have a power of attorney? Because, you know, us here at Liberty on Tour, we're high profile activists. We end up in these situations more often. Could you do this ahead of time?
You absolutely can have a power of attorney signed at any point in time and just have it ready to go. So if you know of someone that you want to represent you who's not a lawyer, you can get that all set up and documented, and you basically just write, I give so-and-so power of attorney over me for legal matters, and date it and sign it and have it notarized, and it's good. And that's all you really need.
Like I said, I was in a jail cell. I was sentenced to 60 days. We were able to release me after 16, you know, essentially putting pressure on the state with its own rules and regulations. And, you know, if you're an activist out there and you're going to be on the front lines doing these things, especially in New Hampshire, Ivy's site, Jeremy's site is definitely somewhere you want to be. If you got some legalese to put into that, contact them and take some of the preventative steps, because hours in a jail cell seem like weeks. So I really appreciate it. Yeah, you guys really helped me out, and I'm glad that you guys have this resource out there.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sometimes I feel I'm lost, but I am so at home. Out on this battlefield, and we are not alone. Ready, set, lock, and load into this microphone. The bullet exits chamber.